Okay, I'm hoping this is going to be a quick one. This has to be shorter than last week. I hope this week I can just get it together because boy did I yap those last weeks. I hope I just say what I need to say and then dip. No offense. I love chatting to you. I love spreading my amazing advice to you. I love editing, especially when I get into flow state. I'm absolutely unstoppable and I just love editing so much. But it has also been messing with my routine, specifically my night routine, and one of my goals for July was to stick to a night routine. I am currently recording this at night and it will possibly most definitely ruin my night routine tonight. But if I make this a short one, then I could start editing tomorrow and then I can get all organised and I will have no excuses not to stick to a night routine for the rest of the week. So fingers crossed. Anyways, we're getting right onto it. I've been struggling lately this week, but then I also had this realisation, which I guess is the pattern that follows most of these videos. It's just like I experience some negative thinking. I have a realisation that it's not that bad. I suddenly get this wave of inspiration or a change of perspective. And I realise that it's not that deep and actually I should be proud of myself or at least go easier on myself. Which is basically like life's theme anyway, I think, for like most of us. It's just freaking out and then actually coming to the realisation that like it's not that deep and we're fine. And depending on like the subject of the panic or like your life experience, the time between freaking out and realizing that it's not that deep gets smaller. And I guess though this time was just one of those lucky times where like it took me 2 seconds to realize that actually it's not that bad. Okay, the bit of negative thinking this week was that I have been kind of hitting a bit of a wall in terms of like inspiration and motivation, which hasn't been affecting me as much as it did in the past in terms of like physical action, like taking action, which has led me to realise that actually I have grown a lot and I should be proud that I've grown a lot, but also that my situation is not as dire as it originally appeared to be, and that actually I'm still creative and I'm still allowed to call myself a writer. Okay, breaking it down a bit more, I feel like last week I was really loving what I was creating. I felt really passionate about what I was writing, what I was making and creating. I felt like I was on a roll. Like the inspiration, the ideas, the words, this like last week's video was just all, I don't know, it just felt so like automatic and instant, and I just felt really good and there was a lot of ease to it. I felt like I didn't have to force it, it just flowed and it came naturally, which is great. And this is basically, last week was really helping me to sustain this newfound confidence and worthiness that I've been feeling within myself, that I've been speaking about in past videos. I'm taking action on things which isn't helping me shift my identity into something really positive. This week, I felt kind of off. The inspiration isn't hitting me as much, or I actually do feel inspired and I know what I want to write, but then when I actually go to write the words down, the words leave me and I don't know how to translate my vision onto the page or onto the Word document, I guess. I also, side note, I'm editing a chapter of my book currently and it's been giving me grief, you know, and I'm close, I can feel it. I know I'm close to cracking it. But it also just feels so overwhelming, and it's this weird feeling of like having fun with it, because I have a very love-hate relationship to editing, as I'm sure some people can very much relate to. And so I'm enjoying it and I'm finding it really fun, but I'm also like finding it really tricky and overwhelming, and I don't know, there's like this invisible timer, I guess, that I'm like putting like above my head or something and it's like looming, or it's like somewhere in the room and it's looming, and it's like this giant big invisible clock that's counting down, and I just need to like edit as quickly as I can and get through this chapter as quick as I can and make it as perfect as it can be as quick as I can. And I guess I'm just putting a lot of pressure on myself at the moment to get it right, and I don't, even though I feel close to cracking it, there's like another part of myself that's telling myself that you're not close and you won't crack it and this is really bad and you should just give up. feel like sometimes, especially with my articles and stuff like that, I love editing and it's such an enjoyable, fun process. It's basically like clipping, like, you know, a rose bush or something, or like, you know, clipping a tree of its dead bits or something, you know what I mean? Like, you're just tidying up. I've spoken about this before, but because of, I think it's like a weird thing with my anxieties that I love to organise and make things tidy and make things look pretty and nice and stuff like that. And so I guess editing is like that, but in a different way. So yeah, most of the time I really enjoy it. But for some reason, I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself with this particular chapter. And I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm just in all areas of my creative projects, I'm kind of feel like I'm struggling a bit to feel confident in my ability to write. And obviously, yeah, I realise that this is something that everyone goes through, writer or creative or otherwise. Like, we all just have to push through moments of doubt and struggle and lack of inspiration in our lives. Like, we all go through moments where we don't want to do something or we're lacking excitement to do something, but we've just got to push through and stay consistent. I guess I'm just having a moment of because I'm experiencing a lot of doubt and lack of confidence, and kind of, I guess I'm being like put back into like my past emotions and my past feelings, where I'm sitting here thinking I'm stupid, or that my work is bad, or it's unworthy, or just so diabolically rubbish that it's an insult to all other writers that I even tried or that I'm even trying right now. As you can tell, it can get a bit over dramatic in my brain sometimes. But coming back from that, even though I still have those feelings, they're not as loud, and I can recognise that I still should be proud of myself, just sticking to the promises that I've made to myself and being consistent. I'm showing up for myself and my ideas and my passions, even on the days when I'm not feeling it, basically. And I think that's such a drastic change from the past me, who would maybe let her negative thoughts and feelings get in the way a bit more of her life and get in the way of her taking action on things that she wants to do. I'm getting a lot of, it's weird, this morning I felt so shit, and then in the afternoon I kind of was able to bring myself out of it, and I actually got this like whole new burst of ideas. I started filming some stuff. I thought of this idea for a video. I was really freaking out because I'm trying to get ahead of my schedule and every time I upload, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't think of something to talk to. And I don't know, this morning was just kind of like that moment where it all got to me a bit, and I was trying my best to just be kind to myself, feel what I'm feeling without it getting so like overwhelming and to the point where like it sucks the minuscule piece of inspiration I have left out of me. I think the way I try to frame it in my mind is that at least I have something to edit, and at least I have something to work with and something to improve upon and learn and grow from and show for, rather than just nothing. You have to just keep pushing through, and I'm not talking about like never rest and always do your job and always do, you know, always work on these things. I love a good rest, and I feel like resting is very important, and sometimes on creative projects or just any project you definitely need to take a break. I think breaks can be amazing. I've definitely taken breaks, a lot of breaks, and it has definitely helped me a lot, but I think you can start to be a good judge of when you need time away from a certain project and when you just need to push through and think, actually no, I don't need a break, I need to push through and face this, rather than just letting my negativity stop me from doing what I want to do and stops me from doing what makes me excited. I know this all sounds probably extremely first world and maybe even a bit entitled, because like, yeah, lots of people have writing as a job and everyone has jobs that they have to push through that on bad days, and everyone throughout life has to just like push through things that they don't want to do or that they've lost their spark for, and it's not that big of a deal. But I guess it was just getting really loud and negative in my head for a second, and I'm really glad that I stepped back, that I looked at the situation, reflected, and realised that actually it's not that bad and I'm not going to give up, and I should be really proud of myself for actually like being consistent and sticking to the promises and the routines and the schedules that I've put in place for myself. Because there was a time, like I said, where I would not have recognised that and I would have just given up, or I would have kept going, but all along the way I would have fed even more into those negative, horrible beliefs. Another maybe side note, but I also can recognise that some days or some weeks you can have the best outlook on life and like be in the best mood, and some days or some weeks it can be the complete opposite, and that's obviously going to affect your mood and how you then view your creativity or like what the work that you're producing. As a writer, I guess this is my example, it's so funny to me to look back and edit and reread your writing. You can read the same piece of work on 2 different days and feel completely different about them. I know I do this a lot. I think like there was a time I looked back on my writing and reread this particular chapter and just thought like, I'm such a terrible writer, this is so embarrassing, can't believe I let people read this, can't believe I sent this into a workshop group. What must my friends think of me, that I'm probably a horrible writer? You know, comparing myself to other writers, comparing myself to my friends and being like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. How have I even still got friends after them reading this? Which is so overdramatic, I know. And then recently I'm reading like the same chapter and the same words, nothing's changed, thinking actually this isn't bad, actually this is pretty good. And actually, oh my gosh, am I a writer? Because this is interesting, wow. And it's just so funny. Like, it's the same words on the same page, nothing's changed, just my mood and my outlook. So I'm just trying to keep that in mind as well, is that like everything can look good when you're having a good day and everything can look bad when you're having a bad day. It's just about using your judgment and using your brain and bringing yourself back from like your emotions and being like, okay, let's look at this from my little writer brain and be kind to myself and see what can stay and see what needs improving and go from there. Because we can always just edit and we can learn and grow and change our process and our work. We always will be able to do that as long as we keep going. And even if you do write something that's completely shit, I guarantee that there is going to be at least one tiny little nugget of gold in there for you to jump off of and go forward with. I know many a times that I've written like a first draft that I've absolutely hated, but there's like been one sentence or one piece of dialogue or one sort of plot point that I've been like, you know what? I hate all of this. I hate 99% of this, but that line is good. Or like, oh, I wanna look further into what that character was feeling at that point. Or like, oh, actually, that plot point was interesting, and I want to focus more on that. And of course, you don't have to be a writer to apply that. You can just apply that to any sort of creative project or any sort of aspect in your life. I don't think trying and failing is really failing. I think trying, giving it your best go is always going to be a complete win, because you're always then learning and growing and moving forward. You're not still, you're not stagnant, you're not going backwards, you're learning and growing from yourself, from your own work, and that's so cool. Okay, I can feel my throat like straining and my voice going. I don't know why my throat is just so bad all the time. But hey, as we've established, I'm an introvert, I don't talk much. This is like, you know, my weekly little yap. And also just before I go, I need to tell you that I know people are probably so bored and so annoyed with me keep changing what show I'm watching. I don't know why I have to change up the show I'm watching like every couple months or every season. I just need to switch it up and watch something different. So I'm currently watching Once Upon a Time. I did watch Once Upon a Time when I was a teenager. I can't remember which season I got up to. I want to say season 5 or season 6, but I can't remember anything. I did start on season 2 because I kind of remember most of what happened in season 1, but after that, like, after they get their memories back, it's gone, which, now that I think of it, is kind of ironic. I love Regina. I know she does bad things. I know that she's technically the villain, technically evil, but I don't know, there's something about her that I'm like, I just want her to be happy. I want her to win. I want to see her smile. I want her to be happy. I want her to be okay. Yeah, I love Regina so much. Also, her car is so iconic, and like her outfit's iconic, her hair iconic. Sorry. What else? Oh, also, whoever did the makeup for Once Upon a Time, because this is so weird, but I've been noticing like every single women's eyelashes in this show are gorgeous. I need to know like what mascara they're using, what falsies they're wearing, because their eyelashes are gorgeous. Like every scene I'm like captured by the lashes. Yeah, if anyone is in the know of like what they're doing to their lashes, please let me know. Anyways, I hope for my sake that this was a short and that you got something from it. I don't really know what the vibe is with, you know, preferring longer or shorter videos, to be honest with you, and I feel like this was kind of just like a short one. I didn't really have much to say this week, unfortunately. I'm still feeling a bit off. I'm still feeling a bit like that I have no inspiration, but I wanted to get a video out anyway, and I feel like this was a pretty cool, nice, chill thing to talk about. That being said, that is me. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you're doing well, and I will yap you soon.